Before we begin, this is not an attack on faith, culture, or anyone's identity. This is a slow, grounded review of a text that challenges biblical figures by reframing them as symbolic titles rather than historical individuals. If you value thoughtful analysis over instant belief or rejection, take a moment to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who appreciates discernment. Nothing here asks you to abandon tradition or adopt a new one. Let's slow this down and look at what this document is actually arguing. This review is based on Moshe, a speculative text arguing that biblical figures such as Moses, Abraham, and Isaac are symbolic corruptions of Kemetic titles associated with the god Tehuti, rather than historical individuals. This document makes a very strong claim right from the start, that Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, and even the concept of the Jew are not historical people in the way we've been taught, but corrupted titles and symbolic roles derived from the Kemetic god Tehuti. According to the text, Moses, Moshe, is not an Egyptian or Hebrew man raised in a palace. He is a fictional character, created by transforming the Kemetic title Masikeru, often written as Makar, which means true of voice or justified in speech. The author argues that over time, linguistic shifts turned Masikeru into Masaishi, and eventually into Moshe or Moses. In this framing, Moses is not a person but a role, the lawgiver, the speaker of divine truth, the one who transmits cosmic law, functions originally attributed to Tehuti. Tehuti, in Kemetic cosmology, is the divine scribe, the voice of Ra, the keeper of Ma'at, cosmic order. He is associated with writing, law, judgment, and truth. The document claims that biblical narratives such as the burning bush, the ascent of the mountain, the reception of divine law, and even the tablets of stone are mythological retellings of Tehuti's functions, not historical events. The same method is applied to other biblical figures. Abraham is reframed as a corruption of the title Aprahui, meaning a judge or arbiter between opposing forces, specifically Haru and Set. Isaac and Ishmael are not sons, but symbolic expressions of those two forces, order and chaos, restraint and desire. Even Aaron is explained as a linguistic transformation of Anan, the sacred baboon who accompanies Tehuti in Kemetic imagery. The Promised Land is not Palestine, according to this text, but Seket Aru, a spiritual field of sustenance. Manna becomes biochemical processes linked to the pineal gland. Melanin, serotonin, and melatonin are woven into the narrative as divine food, turning mythology into internal biology. This is not subtle writing. It is ambitious, sweeping, and absolute. But here is the key thing to notice: everything is interpreted through one lens. Linguistics, mythology, theology, neuroscience, and history are all merged into a single explanatory system. Once that system is accepted, every biblical narrative becomes proof of Kemetic origin and later corruption. And that's where discernment becomes essential. There are valid points raised here. Biblical stories clearly share motifs with older Near Eastern and African mythologies. Titles did often become names over time. Symbolic storytelling was common in the ancient world. And Tehuti's influence on concepts of law, writing, and judgment is historically well established. But the document does not pause where evidence becomes interpretation. Linguistic similarities are treated as direct lineage. Absence of evidence is treated as proof of conspiracy. Alternative scholarly explanations are dismissed as deliberate deception. The line between symbolic reading and historical claim is never clearly drawn. My honest opinion is this text is powerful as symbolic reinterpretation, but fragile as historical certainty. It offers a meaningful way to read scripture as allegory, psychology, and cosmology. But when it insists that all biblical figures are fictional corruptions, and that entire identities are misunderstandings, it replaces one rigid narrative with another. That's not liberation. That's substitution. So what do we take from this? The strength of this document lies in reminding us that ancient names often represented functions, not individuals. That mythology was a language of meaning, not a court transcript. And that spiritual stories were designed to teach order, consciousness, and balance, not modern history. But the solution is balance. Use this text to expand perspective, not to collapse complexity. Explore symbolism without erasing lived traditions. Question origins without declaring absolute replacement truths. Ancient knowledge does not need to invalidate everything that came after it to remain valuable. Discernment is knowing when a symbol is opening meaning, and when it's being stretched until it breaks.
Garantangi, till the next video.